Hi everyone, it's Steven from San Diego Gunpla. So I get a lot of discussion about this, about how do you store your kits? And so I wanted to show people how I actually store my kits. So typically I will go and grab the biggest box I have of a model kit, and I'll actually keep everything in here, but it's the inside that actually makes the difference. And so this is typically on this side how I normally store my kits. These have to be processed so far. But what I'll typically do is I'll grab kits that have spare accessories and I'll lump them all into the same bag. And I'll get a normal Ziploc bag, and sometimes I'll label it using masking tape to figure out which parts are which. But by this point in time, I kind of know which ones are, are which. And then this is a part that I don't think many people typically do, but I will get the cellophane that the runners come in, and I'll cut it up very nicely, and then I'll wrap my model kits in it and put a little piece of tape. And so this will help to protect my model kits from being damaged. So for example, things like the V-fin or more of the delicate parts on the back will be fully protected. And if it has something like a really big backpack, then I'll take that off and I'll wrap that up separately. And this allows me to store my model kits without worrying whether or not it's going to be damaged. It keeps it a little bit like insect proof, I guess. And then it allows me to stack it as well. So now instead of having to worry about everything being laid out like this, I can actually stack it one level higher, and that will allow me to buy more Gunpla in theory. Okay, so a much less elegant way that I store my stuff is I usually take another box, and anything that I want to use for scratch building or for custom making, I'll put into this box. And you'll see that it's not completely organized just yet, but there are a couple of categories. So I have spare runners that I cut up so I can use as extra plates. So remember, a nice tip is that these runners typically are 3mm pegs. So you can use them for, say, custom builds where you need to add joints, or you need to connect like things to an action base, things like that. Actually, I was trying to make an action base from one of the runners. So then I kind of have these here. So this will contain things like all of my joint parts, anything that's the hard plastics, like the polystyrene types. And then I have another one that'll just have all the extra polycaps. So on the off chance that I need like a polycap A because one of them had worn out, or oh shoot, I lost a polycap, now I have a nice convenient way to grab all the polycaps that I need. And then in here is just a bunch of things like, so this is just all the spare hands that I don't have for a particular suit that I don't really care about. And so everything goes into one of these containers. And then inside the box are things that I maybe categorize. So for example, I have some Hono parts that are all considered as like wings, and so everything is inside of this bag. Anything that's like a little bit bigger, I'll just throw into the box. So like the amazing booster or like completed weapons.